Revelation 2783. From the 22nd of June 1943. Sacrificial love. Love enables the human being to make every sacrifice, and your love should be such that you gladly and joyfully give everything if you can serve your neighbor with it. Sacrificial love is an indescribable blessing, both for your soul as well as for your fellow human being's soul, who is thereby also educated to love, for the love which shines upon him also ignites the spark of love in him which can develop into a flame. Love must prompt the human being into action, for only then is it true love, which is not only expressed in words and feelings but in active care. It is an overwhelming feeling of happiness that makes a person happy when he has carried out a deed of love and thereby served his fellow human beings. Thus love is rewarding in itself because it makes people happy and stimulates them to ever new acts of love. Love that is ready to sacrifice does not think of itself. The human being gives of his possessions without thinking about what is useful to the other. He divests himself and is happy to be able to help his fellow human beings. Only this kind of love provides him with the maturity of soul which is his goal on earth, for his heart thereby becomes receptive for divine love itself, which a soul prepared in this way needs as a dwelling place in order to be able to dwell and work in the human being. Through his love the human being draws God as love itself to himself, and he will never ever be without love, for divine love fills his heart and his whole being changes into love. He assimilates himself to God, he already finds union with him on earth. The purpose and goal of his earthly life is, how little does the human being give up if he makes a sacrifice out of love for his neighbor, and how much does he exchange in return? As long as he is still attached to earthly possessions, as long as the goods of the world mean everything to him, he is incapable of any work of love, for self-love is too great and prevents him from divesting himself for the sake of his fellow human being. Only love prompts him to do so. Love for his fellow human being makes his possessions seem worthless to him. He only seeks to help and no longer asks what advantage he will gain from his possessions. He gladly and joyfully gives because love impels him to do so. But anyone who does not have love is unable to separate himself from the world's goods, nor will he ever have pure joy. He will not know the happiness which is triggered in a person by an activity of love. And in order to help them, in order to educate them to be lovingly active, God lets hardship come upon the earth. A hardship which should cause every person to practice love, a hardship which should ignite the spark of love in every person's heart so that he will be active in love. Once he has felt the happiness of being active in love, his heart will no longer be hardened. And therefore you humans should practice love. You should give what is dear and valuable to you, if you are able to alleviate the human being's hardship with it. You should not think twice about whether it will bring you advantage or disadvantage. The love of your heart should drive you, and this does not take long to consider. It makes sacrifices, it separates. It makes sacrifices, it willingly parts with its possessions. It only wants to help and ease the lot of its fellow human being. And if you are able to make sacrifices you will not become poorer but much richer, for God's strength of love will now flow to you which surpasses all earthly goods in value. You hand over earthly possessions and receive spiritual possessions in return, and these possessions are your property which will not be taken away from you, which will remain with you even if you leave earth and enter the spiritual kingdom. Every sacrifice you have made out of love for your fellow human beings increases the goods of eternity. Therefore your life on earth should be a continuous labor of love, a serving and giving, a helping and advising of those who are still weak and need physical and spiritual help. You should make sacrifices so that love is also awakened in your fellow human beings, so that you fulfill your mission on earth. Amen.